Welcome to Arts News. I'm Jimmy Ray, here with you every Friday morning, 10 a.m. to talk about people, places, and things to do in the arts world of the Ozarks. Springfield Little Theater opens Sweeney Todd. We talk with the director of that production. We also talk with Rule Chappell about the Nick, Rule, and Ned the Band reunion coming to the Fox, and reporting from Mavis Parks on the mural in downtown Springfield, as well as sound check with Jess Belisle. Let's go, friends. I'm Jimmy Ray. Welcome to Arts News here on KSMU. And the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, Sweeney Todd, is coming to the Landers Theater, and it's running from March 13th through the 29th. Here to talk more about it, the director of the show, Joni Garner DiPrizio. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
So, Sweeney Todd, is this your first time directing this one?
This is my first time directing this show at the Landers.
Yeah.
So my debut with this show and my debut at the Landers Theater.
Oh, excellent. So are you from around here? Are you new to the area?
I'm originally from New Orleans.
Oh, right.
Traveled around, but I've been in Missouri off and on for 20 years working with Springfield Little Theater before.
Yeah.
So
Sweeney Todd, some folks have probably heard of it. It's pretty classic, but just how about a brief synopsis for those who may not know?
Sure. So Sweeney Todd is sort of a legacy show in musical theater. It stems from the original Penny Dreadful String of Pearls, which was an old Victorian, like a comic back in then.
Right.
And it follows an sort of a shady, moody barber. He's an ex-barber, and he is wronged in his early youth by the evil Judge Turpin, and he's sent off to prison for many, many years. And so he returns back to London with revenge on his mind to get what is owed him, and he teams up with this very boisterous, comical, sort of fun character called Mrs. Lovett, and Sweeney is, of course, set on revenge, and it's a sort of a murderous plot.
Yeah.
Pretty dark show.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting. And so at Landers Theater, bringing programming theater-wise for over 90 years to the Ozarks, how did you end up linking up with the Little Theater?
About 15 years ago, I came and I saw an amazing production of Chicago, directed by Cheryl Miller, and my friend was in it, so I was just coming to see my friend, and I was working in Branson and doing all of the shows in Branson, and I came to see Chicago, and I was stunned by the quality of the show and the performance and the space, and immediately the Landers took hold of me. So I auditioned for the next show, which was Annie, and that was directed by Lorianne Dunn, and I was cast as Miss Hannigan. And so thus began my journey with Springfield Little Theater. I immediately found it to be home, and the theater is amazing, and the staff and the students, it really is unrivaled in the country. And so I just keep finding my way back. And so this past year, speaking with Lorianne and Beth, they were like, we would really like to have you here full time. So I'm back full time. I teach at the Judy, and I do theater and dance with the kids and direct.
Excellent, excellent. Yes, the Landers, absolutely a gem of the Ozarks.
Truly.
So when it comes to, we'll talk more about Sweeney Todd in a bit, but when it comes to theater, What was the progression for you? Tell us a little bit about kind of the journey through.
Sure. So I started performing probably at about age 3 when I would turn off the TV and make my parents watch me instead. And then I did theater and dance my entire career. I was a classically trained ballerina.
Oh.
I did musical theater. My father was a musician in the 1950s and worked with Ricky Nelson and Elvis Presley and cut some records, and then gave it all up and became a police officer. But then he pushed me into the arts. Like he was like, you have to do this. So I sort of did it my whole life. I went to school at Northwestern State University in Natchitoches, Louisiana, with a musical theater performance degree, and then dance education followed shortly after. And then I began working professionally and did summer stock all over the place, and then started taking contracts and have worked all over. And so my dance partner wound up here in Missouri probably about 25 years ago. And he was like, you have to come see this place. It's in the mountains. It's all the things you love, but it's got this wealth of performance opportunities. So we moved up here and started doing theater here.
Yeah.
So kind of has been a lifelong career.
Yeah. Whenever you are teaching over at the Judy and seeing the youth kind of embrace the arts, why is that important for development in a kid to have an outlet like that?
It is important because without the arts, we lose our empathy. And I think when we explore art and we explore emotion and we talk about the levels and layers that go into creating a show or creating a dance piece or singing a song, when we can bring that out and foster that in our youth, we create a generation of people who are able to understand other people and characters and why people do what they do when they do it. And I think it just creates that calmness that I think we're kind of lacking a little bit in today's crazy world.
Right.
So, yeah, and I think it's just important. You know, the arts, they teach us how to be human.
Yeah, I love that. I'm Jimmy Ray. You're listening to Arts News, and I have special guest director Joni Garner DiPrizio from the Springfield Little Theater's upcoming production of Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. It's running March 13th through the 29th, and you can find tickets and information at springfieldlittletheater.org. And so what's it look like as far as the production of this? Big sets being built, large casts, live bands, tracks, lighting. Is it got the whole shebang going here? Give us a rundown of the production itself.
It does indeed have the whole shebang. You will see spectacular sets and incredible costumes. The actors are so strong and just sort of coming together in this beautiful kaleidoscope of colors on the stage. We have a fully live orchestra, so the music is amazing. It is dark, so, you know, little warning there as far as like ratings. It's for a more mature audience.
Good to know.
But that said, it really is an incredible story, and I feel like we are enjoying every moment of that and can't wait to share it with the crowd.
Where did this come from? How old of a piece is this?
In 1979, it won 8 Tony Awards. And
that's where it burst onto the scene.
That's sort of where it burst onto the scene. When Stephen Sondheim, who is, you know, this amazing composer, sort of got his hands on it and sort of wrote this story with Hugh Wheeler, who is the book. He wrote the book. When they got their hands on it, it sort of evolved into a living flesh story of humanity and what can go wrong in humanity, which I think is a great parallel for life.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So then it's had several revivals. Just recently, Annalee Ashford and Josh Groban did a giant revival of it and really sort of set the stage for a new generation as we continue to evolve in theater, as we continue to try new things. They sort of set the stage for what would come next. So using tradition as a guide and then taking what has just recently been done in the revival, we created sort of a cool blend of those things for this show so that our traditional Sweeneys will still feel like, yes, this is the show I love and love to sing. And our newer generation will be like, but it was evolved and it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so we're doing it in sort of that 1800s Victorian vibe, but we're kicking it a little bit with some steampunk and some steam-powered vibes to sort of bring it into today's cooler generation.
Very cool. I like that. Talking with Joni Garner DiPrizio, the director of the upcoming production Sweeney Todd at Springfield Little Theater, running the 13th through the 29th of this month. Information at springfieldlittletheater.org. So, as a director, you said this is your debut of the show and debut directing at the Landers. Have you directed other shows?
So I did this summer direct Beetlejuice Jr. at the Landers.
Yes, I remember.
So I did that this summer at the Landers. This is sort of my full first main stage, full cast,
Right.
not just our education program.
So from a life of performance evolving into this director's role, what's been some challenges? What's been some wins? What are things that highlighted this role for you, this kind of debut
For
thing?
this show, the biggest challenge is the music.
Oh.
It is Stephen Sondheim, so it is some of the most complicated music that one can tackle in a musical theater genre. So learning the music and learning the beats, which somehow don't always match up with where you think you would come in,
Right.
like because it's Sondheim, so it's complicated, layered music.
Are you talking about the music as far as the actors connecting to it and getting that correctly, or the musicians themselves, or just making all of that come together into one?
Making all of that come together into
Yeah.
one is a beast of a challenge, but we are doing a great job. Our cast and our musicians sound amazing. So it's coming together, but
Yeah.
that has definitely been the biggest challenge: is how do we approach that music, and how do we stay true to what should be in the music, still evoke the emotion of the piece, and not lose time and not
Right.
fall out of rhythm or whatever.
It's a whole nother bag whenever, if you're just a musician and you're playing the pieces, that's one thing. If you're an actor on stage and you're not interacting with music, you just have lines, that's another thing. When you bring things together like that, it really is a whole nother discipline. Let me ask you this. Whenever it comes to the directing, what have you learned about a leadership role? Because as a performer, I'm sure you've took direction many, many times. But whenever that hat comes on your head, what do you have to learn about communications with the cast? What do you have to learn about organization? What do you have to learn about preparation? Because I'm sure this is a very long process to get prepared for this.
It is. You're right. I think the biggest thing about being a director is that the buck stops with you.
Meaning every decision, basically?
Every decision
Wow.
stops with you as the director.
Even when it comes to technical, like lighting just choices?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So everyone works together. Our technical team, our costuming team, everybody works together to create the vision, but the vision comes from the director.
Yeah.
So the director has to set out clear lines for, here is what I want, this is my vision at the beginning of a project. And then the delicate balance of being able to keep that vision coming and at the same time work with and collaborate with everyone so that it is a pleasant project for everyone and everyone can be excited about it, and to sort of manage the stress of the actors, the stress of the musicians who are learning this hard music, the stress of the technical team who are dealing with the constraints of a building. And, the Landers is an older theater, so it is amazing. And also we have to be respectful for the Landers because
Right.
it's been around since, the 1900s, and we really want it to last another 100 years.
Sure.
So I think that has been really eye-opening, having directed other places before, not in such a reverent old building. So I think that I am really keeping my eye on making sure that we are doing her justice as well as
Sure.
doing the project justice, finding a delicate balance to be able to approach your actors and your musicians and everyone in a way that you can communicate with them what you need without hard line, because it has to be an ebb and flow for people to respond. So that's sort of been my main goal, is to get them there,
Yeah.
get them where they need to be.
Right.
And I feel like they really are stunning as a cast and crew. So really proud of them.
Well, I know the community will be looking forward to it. It's Sweeney Todd coming to the Landers Theater starting tonight, March 13th, running through the 29th of this month. More information at springfieldlittletheater.org. And Joni, great to meet you, and I hope that y'all have a great show. Break a leg. On the next performance, we'll get you in again.
Thank you so much, Jimmy. It was a pleasure to be here.
I'm Jimmy Ray. You're listening to Arts News here on KSMU. And later today at noon and every second Friday of the month, it's Studio Live here on KSMU, where we have conversations and music from local musicians, singer-songwriters, and artists. This week, Eric Like. And to find out more about his music and today's performance at noon here on Studio Live is Jess Belisle with the segment Soundcheck.
Ground is never quite as high as when you're being sucked down by a mortgage that you had for years. Blood-stained hands and black-stained tears. The earth and money will suck you dry. The sun, it never shows 200 foot below.
Studio Live is today at noon, and it's time for Soundcheck. I'm Jess Belisle. This month, we're hosting a special Friday the 13th show with singer-songwriter Eric Like. He stopped by the station to talk about his special brand of vivid, weird, creepy, sometimes funny songwriting. Here's our conversation.
I always liked poetry, and as a kid, excelled at that, and always liked strange things. Was obsessed with Twilight Zone, the original Twilight Zone, still am. And also later on, actually, not only did I love Weekly World News, with Bat Boy, I also had a subscription. So I had this mailed to my house. So
I don't think I know anybody who's had an actual subscription to that.
I have stacks of them. And
Amazing.
Anyway, so I've always loved strange stories and the odd.
With your songs now, they're very unique in style. They're very image-driven. You get a very vivid picture of what's going on, no matter the topic. How did that come to be in your songwriting process?
Well, I've always had a pretty overactive imagination that just never really shuts off. So sometimes, not all the time, but I'd say half the time when I'm writing a song, sometimes I do probably the old tried and true that most songwriters do is they hear a cool turn of a phrase and they build a song out of that. Mm-hmm. And every once in a while I'll do that. But I'd say more often than not, what I like to do is actually, I imagine, that sounds weird, to stick with me on this.
Okay.
So I immerse myself, I imagine what is going on. Say if you're doing a song about a Wild West shootout. I don't have one of those, but let's say if I did. Mm-hmm. Then I'm going to imagine the town, of course, the buildings, reference any of those signs that I'm seeing all this in my head. Of course, what the people are wearing, what their emotions are. But then also in the background, this is, I guess, the stranger part, is I might be imagining what other people are saying, conversations that are going on in this scene, right? And then I may not use any of those, but those may elicit feelings that I later on use for lyrics. Mm-hmm. So I'm making this up on the go, but like say if it's a gunfight and there's a mother and child talking about the horrific violence that they're getting ready to see, then the child could say something to the mother about concern, and that could be translated into a line where one of the guys are maybe thinking about their child. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So then I may, in my mind, see a sign of a feed supply place, and that may turn into a little side venue about maybe he slept with the feed supply's wife. And so I'm using things that I see in my head to incorporate the song.
You were building an entire world
Yeah.
for this song.
Yeah, and each one is its own little world. Yeah. So
That's
it's
very cinematic of you.
Yeah, well, it's kind of that's what I figured how I do, because if you do that, then you just write what you see. Now they got VR, but it used to be in the old days you had to use your mind. I would say the only downside of this is sometimes when I like writing a lot of scary songs, and every once in a while I'll write a song that creeps me out enough to where I'm playing it. Sometimes if I'm playing at home, if I'm playing out and I've got my eyes closed, I'm envisioning it, or if I'm playing at home, then it becomes a little too creepy, because it's like, so even though I wrote it, sometimes I can creep myself out.
Interesting. I mean, I feel like you can definitely creep other people out, but
Yeah, I think so too. And I always like adding an element of humor in there too, so it's very
Sure.
confusing. So it's scary and funny, and then you don't know whether you should laugh or not.
or run.
Laugh or run, right. Sometimes both. And at first, whenever you said March, I was like thinking, Jess, do you really want like in March? And then you said Friday the 13th. I was like, sold.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Let's get weird.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, Eric, thank you so much for joining me here on Soundcheck. We cannot wait to hear you on Studio Live here on KSMU.
All right, thanks for letting me come out.
Thanks for tuning in to Soundcheck. I'm Jess Belisle.
Provider shouldn't care. Look out, you're running out of air. You West Virginia family's almost grown. Life never seems to go too low. 200 foot below. 200 foot below.
Robert E. Smith was an American folk artist who once was a resident of Springfield. He had a very vibrant, colorful, and childlike style in his painting and became very well known and well renowned in the art community around the world, and especially beloved right here in Springfield. A large-scale mural of one of his paintings was recreated by community members in 2000 on a building in downtown Springfield. It has recently been covered up by the new building owner, causing a stir in the artistic community and folks to question art's role in a community. Here with more on that story is KSMU reporter Mavis Parks.
On February 27th, the mural was covered. Soon after, many showed issue with the artwork being painted over, many even contacting the property owner, David Pear, privately. Pear is the owner of From Military to Millionaire, who recently bought the property. The group intends to use the space as an office, as well as a community space for veterans.
It's an interesting thought that if this mural was so loved and so important, I'm curious why it hadn't been touched up in 25, 26 years.
Pear also adds that he had cleared the covering of the mural with the city, so he assumed there would be no hoops to jump through. But those opposing the mural being covered had differing opinions on the matter. In a statement, Meg Rosen, art educator, said that it is good faith practice to consult with local experts before destroying a public artwork. Jenny Filmer Edwards, who recalls several experiences with Smith as a community figure, also had her thoughts on the subject.
It's a terrible loss that this mural has disappeared, not only for those of us who knew and loved Robert, but for the folks that passed by every day.
But Pear hopes that From Military to Millionaire's plans for the wall help the art community.
We're trying to add our piece to Springfield history.
While specific plans for the piece have not yet been finalized, Pear says he hopes to include a bald eagle, an American flag, and other nods to military life among the imagery. Pear added that while nothing is concrete, he hopes to assist in the migration of the mural if possible. For KSMU News, I'm Mavis Parks reporting.
And just an update to this story, there is a GoFundMe campaign happening to recreate this mural downtown. And I wanted to let everybody know that David Pear, the new owner of the building and the one cited in Mavis's story, has donated $5,000 towards that GoFundMe effort. If you would like to donate, you can go to GoFundMe.com and search Recreate Downtown Springfield's Robert E. Smith mural. I'm Jimmy Ray. You're listening to Arts News here on KSMU, and a special guest in studio with me. You might know him from the Ozark Mountain Daredevils, maybe Play It Forward, the 501c3 putting instruments in children's hands, or maybe Nick Rule and Ned the Band. It's Rule Chapel. Welcome.
Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate it.
And so, something fun coming up tomorrow night, March 14th, at the historic Fox Theater in downtown Springfield. Nick Rule and Ned, the band, is having a reunion.
Yeah, we can't wait. It's so cool, especially for guys in their mid-50s, it's really, it's really, it's going to be a ball. We're going to treat it like a night at McSalty.
Sure.
I mean, we're not going to hide in dressing rooms or leave the stage and come back on. We're just, we're just going to be there with everybody that is nice enough to come and take requests and have guests. And, we're not going to play You Catch It, You Keep It because the Fox won't let us. But we asked. But anywho, so.
This is a reunion after how long since you guys played together last?
We played a gig for Big Brothers Big Sisters, an event that was to raise money, about a year or two ago. Mm-hmm. We play every once in a while.
Yeah.
At least every decade.
Yeah.
So,
but you got Ned down in Florida, right?
He's in Florida. Yeah, he's still Ned the Band to us. By the way, too, I wanted to tell you that he kind of got ribbed for that name, and I told him, anyone that gives you any troubles itching for a fight, and you just tell them to come to see me.
Yeah, wrangle them right up. Well, me, like so many others, I'm sure, throughout the years here in Springfield, remember Nick Rule and Ned the Band from McSalty's. Played for how many years over there?
Oh, my Lord. We played together for 18 years at the first McSalty's. Wow. We never played anywhere for a weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, ever. Everywhere we went, we played at least a year.
Yeah.
And so we were very lucky that way as musicians. But then the next McSalty's, the one on Sunshine, we played there for about 8 years.
Yeah. Wow.
So, 30 some odd years.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. My mom would take me and my brother down there, and we'd get a pie and some soda and listen to y'all play. And it was definitely an early exposure to music and having fun and performance, because you all just had such a great time and very engaging.
And you know what? That was always our goal. It wasn't about playing the music perfectly, because you're going to make a mistake.
Sure.
And it was about having a good time and laughing and being funny.
Yeah.
And inviting people up and just having. The crowd at our gigs has always been part of the show. That's the way it's always been with us. Mm-hmm. Long story short, that's what we're going to do Saturday night.
Yeah. Downtown at the Fox Theater. It's tomorrow night, March 14th, starting at 7:30. You can find tickets and information at the Fox Theater website, which is historicfoxtheater.org. You can also call for information or tickets at 417-863-9491. That phone number again is 417-863-9491. How did it all start? Nick Rule and Ned the Band. I mean, this has obviously been a huge musical area. Your work with the Daredevils, obviously. Nick was doing all sorts of jingle work and studio work, and Ned obviously doing his thing too. But how did y'all first start playing together?
Well, Nick and I got together in 74 and started playing then. And we started at the old Shakey's Pizza Parlor.
Yeah.
We have a thing for pizza parlors. I don't know what the deal
It's not
is.
hard. It's not hard to like a good pizza parlor.
But anyway, we played there for a long time, and there was some confusion, and someone said that I'd gotten young people attending Shakey's to drink.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. So it's a long story. But anyway, the alcohol and firearms guys came up on our break and said, "We need to talk to you."
Wow.
And I went, "What?" And so they said, "You realize," they took us to the back room. Nick went along, of course. He couldn't listen. He was ready to go, So he was standing in the back, and they said, "You just purchased a pitcher of beer for an underage group of people." And I said, I was walking back to the bar, and they said, "Here, have them send us a pitcher of beer." And I just took the money back and laid it down and said that.
Sure.
And they said, "Well, you bought it." They said, "And oh, by the way, we need to see your driver's license." And of course, I wasn't of age either. They said, and I said, I don't think I've got to do that.
The shaky shakedown.
And Nick said, yes, you do, Roll. Yes, you do. You know, he never misses a deal. So anyway, I gave it to him. And needless to say, we went on down the road. They unfortunately closed Eddie Crab's joint for like 18 days because of that.
Wow.
And we went on down the road to play out by Howard Johnson's. We played there for a long time. And then anyway, Nick found Ned by I think he was in the studio with Nick. You know, he found Ned. Ned was he was a really talented guy. And just funny and goofy, just like the way we like him. And he came out and he started, I think it was 87. So there was a few years that Dick and I just played together.
Yeah.
You know, from 74 on. And he came in and we gave birth to him in 87. And he was Ned the band because he could play so many instruments. I mean, he played tuba, he played trumpet. Do you know what the difference between a trumpet and a cornet is?
What?
$50. He played trumpet, he played saxophone, he played, trombone. He could play anything.
Yeah.
It was just great. Well, he started out playing tuba with us, which was really cool. But he set him back. Nick and I did all the vocals and everything. And then one day I knew he could sing. We all knew he could sing. And we just said, hey, why don't you play upright bass so you can sing? And so, and he just bloomed. I mean, he just blossomed. He became Ned the band.
Yeah.
And, told jokes, did funny stuff. It was just great. I mean, and since then, it's been the three of us, 3 yet 1, 1 yet 3. Thank you. And that's the way it is.
Yeah. Talking with Rule Chappell about tomorrow night's Nick, Rule, and Ned the Band reunion downtown at the historic Fox Theater. It's starting at 7:30. Doors are opening at 6:30. And there's just a few tickets left. So already a decent crowd showing up, but if you want to be a part of this legendary reunion, you probably want to get on it. The website to check out is historicfoxtheater.org, or you can make a call to 417-863-9491. That number again is 417-863-9491. And I'm so tickled to see music coming to the Fox Theater. This is the first one, I think, the first music show that they're having since the big change of hands. And
right. Well, and, it's a great venue for someone our size.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that a lot of other, like Molly Healy and all the other musicians in town, take advantage of this because, it's a perfect place. Mm-hmm. By the way, I saw when I was a little kid, I was little bitty. My dad loved horror and sci-fi and all this stuff. And so he took me to the Fox. We parked on the square. That's how long ago it was. And took me to the Fox and we saw the original The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Wow.
And this was in the 50s. And we eventually saw 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Yeah.
Which was, and they both of them just scared the wadding out of me. So, but anyway, so I have real fond memories of the place.
Yeah.
But it's a perfect size for local groups who have a following to do shows and for traveling groups that are much smaller,
Yeah, whenever Jeff at the Gilloys told me that this was going down, I knew it was going to be great because, of course, getting local acts in the Gilloys is next to impossible. It's just too big.
It's too big.
It's too big. So this nice 500 or 600 seater downtown, historic, beautiful theater, I too am hoping that we can get some acts in there, get some people, get the blood flowing in there, and just get folks used to seeing music in this great new room.
That's we are really proud to be part of the beginning of that. So, but I also want to take the opportunity to thank Jeff Steele because I know nothing about promoting a show. Mm-hmm. You'd think I'd know a little bit, but I don't. And Jeff and Dwight Glenn, the manager for the Daredevils, and Stephen U. Daly, the sound guy, and Lacey, the office lady, they were just so helpful. I mean, and I could ask any question, and they didn't make me feel stupid.
Yeah.
And so, but I wanted to thank them because
Yeah.
they have been really, really a great help.
Yeah, and on this show and so many other things that come through town, a lot of great work with the Gilloys crew. And of course, yes, Dwight Glenn, the manager of the Daredevils, been working with him more and more. And you guys have had such a great run. Obviously, the Generations concert towards the end of last year was great. And a few other things coming up with the Daredevils.
Yeah.
In April, got the Centennial.
Right, Route 66.
Yeah.
And yeah, it should be fun. We're not going to quit playing at all.
Yeah.
We're just going to slow down a bit, not do a string of dates.
Just grind it out on the road.
Yeah, at one time.
Yeah.
And we did that for 2 years, and it was real fun, I got to admit. And but at the same time, we're not 20. We're going to just pick and choose our gigs, be a little bit more picky.
Yeah.
About where we play, and we're not going to stop. I mean,
Sure.
I don't know what else we do.
Yeah.
Mow our lawns.
Yeah. I was talking with Soup the other day.
Oh, good.
And he's doing well and looking forward to that show. And then that's towards the end of April. I don't know the exact details, but you can head over to the Daredevils website to find out more about that. And before we go, I do want to mention as well Play It Forward of Southwest Missouri. Just give us an idea of what this mission is.
Our mission is to put instruments in the hands of children that cannot afford them. I wasn't the original founder. I was chosen by the original founder, Rick Snelson, who passed away 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But a great guy. And he picked me, and so now my brother Alan helps me. He's a drummer, so that helps a lot because I don't know anything about drums.
Yeah.
And so he handles all percussion for me, and I do the rest. And we have been active now going on 12 years, and I can't even tell you how many instruments we've given away. We gave away 7 yesterday.
Wow.
So we go through a lot of instruments, and the need is great.
Yeah.
And maybe we can talk on down the line about Play It Forward in a show.
Yeah, I think we'll do a feature later on down the road. But, a lot of people have instruments laying around, and that's really what this organization is about. Why let it gather dust when it can create inspiration?
That's exactly right. I want to thank our sponsors, Ernie Williamson and Stomp the Blues, for helping us keep the lights on. Ernie Williamson is a drop-off point for us. So if you have an instrument that's in good, playable shape and in one piece, drop it off at Ernie Williamson and tell him it's for me and for Play It Forward.
And that's over there on Fremont Street.
Right.
Just south of Battlefield.
Right. The people my age refer to it as Springfield Music because that's what it used to be.
Yeah.
But Ernie Williamson, and they're just a wonderful group of people, and they help me a lot. I like Play It Forward.
Yeah.
I really do. And the reason is because we really help real people, and it doesn't go through a huge group of folks. I just deal directly with instruments. And I did want to say one other thing. I've noticed over the years that when we give an instrument to a kid, that's wonderful. But if they can't afford an instrument, likely as not, they can't afford lessons.
Yeah.
So we're looking at building, with the help of the Mosaic Arts Collective at the Gilloys, we're looking to build an online lessons portal. And they're going to help me do that. I'm buying some pianos for them so that they can start their lessons. And I love it because they are just a very diverse group of people.
Yeah.
And they serve a very diverse group of people. And I'm thrilled to have them as a part.
Yeah, Mosaic has done excellent things in the community. We've had them on this program in the past, and they'll continue to do good work. And now, partnering up with you guys, Play It Forward Southwest Missouri can also be explored, contributed to, and just get involved with or learn more about at the website, playitforwardswmo.org. Also a Facebook page people can connect with.
Right. The Facebook page is probably easiest, and I don't know exactly how we're going to do it or what we're going to do, but we're going to do a fundraiser this spring because we've gone through a lot of money, and there's a lot of need out there.
Yeah.
There really is, and I'm telling you right now, there's nothing better today than being able to play music.
Yeah.
It's good medicine.
Yeah, it really, really is. I can contest to that. And giving that gift to the youth is more important than ever right now, I think.
You bet.
Because there's a lot of anxiety out there, and art can soothe anxiety. It can cure it.
Ironically, I grew up in a time very similar to this, maybe not quite as wild, during the Vietnam War and the hippies and all that. I grew up in that era playing. And, music's not only good medicine, it's not only good for your body and your mind. It is a way to say what you feel.
Yeah.
Music and the Vietnam War, the largest group of protesters during that time were musicians.
Yep.
That literally said the truth. And it's happening again.
Yeah.
It's this big cycle, and, we're right kind of back there.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for a lot of younger musicians to step up. I'm 50 some odd, and I won't be around all that much longer. Would you, make sure that everyone understands I'm 50. So anyway.
On radio, it's easier to.
But, it's a great thing. Playing an instrument is like the full body workout for the brain. That's just the way it is. Ask any neurosurgeon. It involves both lobes. It involves being a muscle memory. It involves, the creative part of your brain and the part of your brain that handles your muscles and
emotions can be.
Yeah. It is a full body workout for the brain. I dare you to find a person that is a good musician and music is a big part of their life, and for them not to be intelligent.
Yeah.
Intelligence is earned, and intelligence is created.
Mm-hmm.
You're not just born intelligent. And music is, without doubt, one of the best ways to produce the intellectual that there is.
Very noble and can help develop the spirit as well.
Yes, sir.
So,
yes, sir.
Getting chills talking about it. Rule Chappell, thanks for joining me. And I know everybody's going to be enjoying the Nick, Rule, and Ned the Band reunion, March 14th. And that's happening at the historic Fox Theater downtown Springfield as part of their new endeavor of being a concert venue. And so folks can find more information as far as this show and future shows coming up at historicfoxtheater.org. And if you want to call for tickets, you can call 417-863-9491. There's not many tickets left for this Nick, Rule, and Ned the Band reunion show tomorrow, March 14th, downtown. Y'all have a great show. Have fun. Enjoy the night. And we'll talk more about Play It Forward this spring.
Well, thank you, Jimmy. I really appreciate it. And get those tickets. Don't make us come looking for you.
I'm Jimmy Ray. You're listening to Arts News here on KSMU. An internationally acclaimed tenor and Springfield native, Michael Spires, will take the stage at the Metropolitan Opera this season in a new production of Wagner's Tristan und Isolde. The appearance marks another milestone for Spires' global career and highlights the continued connection between world-class opera and the Ozarks. The production is already drawing major attention in New York and is expected to approach a rare sellout run. On March 21st, audiences across the country will be able to experience the performance through the Metropolitan Opera's Live in HD Cinema broadcast series. In addition to his international engagements, Spires serves as the artistic director of Ozarks Lyric Opera in Springfield. After his Metropolitan Opera performances, he is scheduled to return to Missouri to appear in the company's upcoming production of The Sound of Music, set for April 17th and 19th. The performances reflect Spires' ongoing commitment to bringing high-level operatic experiences to regional audiences. More information about Ozarks Lyric Opera and its upcoming season can be found at ozarkslyricopera.org. Details about the Metropolitan Opera production and the Live in HD broadcast are available through the Met's official website at metopera.org. And Queen City Shout is celebrating its 15th anniversary this year with a week-long arts festival across Springfield. The event runs March 23rd through 29th and will feature more than 100 live musical acts along with film screenings, poetry events, dance performances, and visual arts exhibits at venues in the historic C Street, downtown, and Roundtree neighborhoods. Single day admission is $20 or $30 for a full festival pass. Proceeds from ticket sales support local poverty relief organizations, including OCAC, Harmony House, and The Kitchen. Festival founder Eddie Gamusio says the event has grown from a small gathering of bands into a community-wide celebration of the arts that has raised more than $120,000 for local charities. More information and a full schedule can be found at queencityshout.com. And next week, we will have a couple representatives from the Queen City Shout to talk about the event. So tune in next week for more information on this 15-year anniversary of Queen City Shout. And let's hear a song for one of the many, many musical acts at Queen City Shout this year. Here's Check Your Surroundings from Drifter's Mile, right here on Arts News, KSMU.
Check your surroundings for passing cars. Check your surroundings no matter where you are. Whether in a crowded street or in a lonely bar, check your surroundings. There's an awful lot of people out there, very awful people want to take you away. You pass so many of them, so many of them as you go through your day. I'd like to say they're not the but I'm pretty sure they are there, so I don't know what to say except check your surroundings. Check your surroundings, every boy and girl. Check your surroundings and keep your flag unfurled. Don't be afraid to leave your home and go out and see the world. Oh, check your surroundings. Passing cars. Check your surroundings no matter where you are. Whether in a lonely street or in a crowded bar, check your surroundings. Check your surroundings.
That was Drifter's Mile with Check Your Surroundings. I'm Jimmy Ray. Welcome to Arts News, and you can hear Drifter's Mile and a whole bunch of other bands from March 23rd to 29th at the Queen City Shout. More information about this incredible arts and music festival can be found at queencityshout.com. And the Southern Missouri Arts Connection will present a new group exhibition titled Rooted, The Art of Trees at the Smack Art Center in downtown Hollister. The show runs through March 28th and features work by 40 artists exploring the theme of trees through a range of mediums, including painting, photography, stained glass, and mixed media. And as a part of this month's nonprofit spotlight, the Southern Missouri Arts Connection will highlight Elevate Branson, an organization that provides employment training, housing support, transportation assistance, and counseling services. More information about the exhibit and upcoming programs can be found through the Southern Missouri Arts Connection website, which is smac-art.org. It's Rooted, The Art of Trees at the Smack Gallery at 7 Downing Street in historic downtown Hollister through March 28th. And Watercolor as Meditation with Ryan McLean. It's a new watercolor workshop focused on mindfulness and relaxation. It's coming to the Wild Arts Learning Center in Springfield tomorrow, March 14th at 10 a.m. Artist Ryan McLean will lead participants in painting loose landscape scenes while exploring watercolor as a meditative practice. The adult workshop is designed to create a quiet, low-stress environment and will include instruction in accessible techniques that encourage creativity and personal reflection. McLean, a Watercolor USA qualifier, says he often uses painting as a way to promote growth mindset and emotional well-being in his own work with students. All materials, snacks, and drinks will be provided. Directions and location details will be shared after you register, and more information can be found about the workshop through the Wild Arts Learning Center website, and that is wildartslearning.com. It's Watercolor as a Meditation, happening tomorrow, Saturday, March 14th, through Wild Arts Learning. I'm Jimmy Ray. You're listening to Arts News here on our public radio station, KSMU. Welcome, friends. I'm Jimmy Ray. You're listening to Arts News here on KSMU. And that was the Springfield Youth Symphony performing Irish tune from Country Dairy. It's commonly known as London Derriere. And it was arranged by Australian composer Percy Granger. And the Springfield Youth Symphony are preparing for their trip to New York City and performance at Carnegie Hall in late April. If you would like to support them, find out more information about the trip and about the Springfield Youth Symphony, you can find that information at springfieldyouthsymphonymo.org. I'm Jimmy Ray. You're listening to Arts News here on KSMU. Welcome. That's all the time we have for Arts News, friends. Thank you for joining me today and every Friday here at 10 a.m. for Arts News, talking about people, places, and things to do. Take care of yourself and each other. We'll see you next week. Peace.
It's Arts News, people and places, things to do. Arts News, here on KSMU.